3BC.
Welcome back to 3BC. This is your girl Joy. I'm back with KC the Alchemist, Chloe, and One Solo. And if you didn't catch before, definitely follow us on Instagram at 3BC Podcast. We'll have some of the stuff we've been talking about, some of those clips we're referencing, some photos, memes, and whatnot. Now, this jam here ain't for everybody. Only the sexy people. Now, if you're nervous, if your nerves is bad and your heart is bad, it's time for you to log off or go lay down and have you some milk. Now, what we got to talk about now is something that is really been becoming more and more a part of our conversation in terms of our sexuality, in terms of our relationship models, and how we are expressing ourselves in terms of love partnerships and love languages. We are talking about polyamory, not to be confused with polyfuckery, because there is some fuckery going on that is masquerading as polyamory. One such thing is this Don't Rush challenge with these fat niggas on here, with their multiple women. We're like, I think I feel a way about this. I'm fine with you polyamory, a polyamorous relationship. But what I'm not fine with is this Don't Rush challenge with these fat niggas up here with fat nigga flexing with two chicks. Man, listen, next. Anyway,
and so one song said, Santa Claus is coming to town.
I know, right? Santa, and this mommy ain't trying to kiss that Santa. Next one. I'm gonna jump to One Solo though to just provide a light definition of polyamory for those who aren't familiar or who think it's just some freaky niggas trying to come up with a cute name.
Yeah. So go back to our Latin roots, our etymology classes, right? Polyamory is multi-loves. It's just a core notion that you can love and be intimately connected with more than one person, not to be confused with swinging, right? Swinging is about having sexual relationships, adult consensual sexual relationships, and poly relationships can take many forms. They are not all just sexual relationships. There's a whole universe of how people choose to partner, male, female, male partnerships, female, female, male partnerships, female, female, female partnerships, male, male, male partnerships, right? So these can take any form. The core requirement, though, of polyamory as a expression of ethical non-monogamy is that you don't have to be exclusive to another person to be in a loyal, committed, caring relationship or connection with them. The other part is that it has to be consensual. Everybody got to know. Everybody got to know. So you can't be. So
honesty
I can't be
transparency.
Exactly. I don't get to be monogamous, but my partner over there thinking we in an exclusive relationship,
right?
Or I'm polyamorous, but they're in an exclusive relationship. Now your partner can be monogamous, and you can be polyamorous, but your partner is consensually monogamous to your consensual non-monogamy. Right?
Right.
And as complicated as that sounds, you will find that people say they choose to do their poly different ways, right? This is not polygamy where the husband has multiple wives, or it can be polygyny where the wife has multiple husbands. It is just accepting the notion that people can simply love more than one person and be in partnered relationships with more than one person.
And let us please note that polyamory, the poly community, has its own language. Like it is I'm trying to keep up with all the language, nesting partners, and the different formations. There's an X, a V, and there's so many ways that a polyamorous relationship can be defined. And it's so many ways to love. So it's at its core, very open notion. It's a very open notion, I would say, open philosophy. And I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
But here's the thing, Joy. There are a couple of truths, right? The truth is that when people can be honest about the needs they have, like at the core is giving people the capacity to get their needs met, period, full stop.
Right.
Because it is very possible that you are in a relationship with someone and they don't have the skill or the will to meet a set of needs that you have.
Right.
It doesn't even have to be sexual. It is emotional, intellectual, spiritual. You want a partner who can dance, but your partner can't dance.
Right.
So you find somebody else who can meet that need for you to dance. Or you want to see movies, but they don't want to see movies. And having the capacity to say, I can't meet that need. I'm happy to have you have that need met without me. Or to have somebody else who meets that need. Right? It's kind of that simple. For me,
like we were just calling those people friends, previously, because we didn't have another word for it. I'm with this person and we do these kinds of things, but then I've got friend A who likes to dance. I've got friend B who likes to go to the movies with me, or he might tolerate musicals whether he likes them or not. And I feel like in a way that we have to acknowledge first and foremost that no one person can be all things to another person.
Sure.
And that is okay.
What is the difference between a friend, and a person that is engaged in a polyamorous relationship with you, that there's a romantic relation, not necessarily sexual, but romantic feelings? Is that the difference between just the friend? Because I go to the movies and musicals with my gay friends, but gay male friend, but that doesn't mean I'm in a poly situation. So is the difference the romantic feelings that you have, or more than friend feelings you have, even if they don't manifest in sex?
Yeah, I would argue yes. I mean, like when you talk about, again, there are some seminal texts around this work. So Sex Before Dawn is one of them. That explores the origin of monogamy versus non-monogamy in relationships. More Than Two is another seminal text, and Ethical Slut. Like those are kind of like the canons of polyamory and multi-loving dynamics.
And just to jump in, we will drop that in IG as well at 3BC Podcast. Follow along, and we'll drop those canons, as my intellectual friend just
yes, because I need to look them up. Chloe needs to understand, because I'm curious, just like Joy, on the difference between the friend that you kick it with, as well as and a friend or the person that's in a non-sexual polyamorous relationship that you do things with.
And, the reason why we started, the reason how this even came up was I saw Solo out and we had a whole conversation about, I was like, how does this model work? Like, I think I want a 45-year-old man, like companion, whatever, and then 35-year-old dick. How does that work? How can I make that model happen? And I don't know how to figure it out, and I was like, but beyond that, I mean, I was half serious, half joking, a little more serious. But for real, how do you make that work? And I've really been thinking about, how do you have those different guys, like the ones that you can spar with intellectually, the one that is like a brilliant lover, the one that's like a companion or life partner or nesting partner or whatever. Because a lot of men are not that secure. There's a lot. Let's just be honest. Not black men, especially black men.
No.
But most black men are married to women and have girlfriends and side pieces and chicks and boyfriends. So they are fine, and they understand the notion of having more than one person to meet your needs. They understand the notion of, I can love you and be loyal to you and be deeply committed and never leaving you, and also not be faithful to you. So let's not be confused. They understand it.
Faithful in a traditional sense.
They're not open to discussing it.
They aren't comfortable with a partner having that same kind of freedom.
Correct.
It's or discussing it. there's a confusion with what is this that is not cheating, because anything they feel like outside of this, what we've created, this dynamic is considered cheating, and it's not cheating, but I am definitely getting a need met over here. I mean, I dated a man who had been in a poly relationship that was one woman, two men, and that was definitely one of the best relationships that I've been in, aside from the way that we broke up, because he was so open and he gave me so much freedom to just be myself. There was never, ever a time where he felt like, oh, you're not doing this and you're not doing that and you should be doing this and you should be doing. No. Because he had been in something considered alternative. And so there were certain things for him that were normal. And I loved it because there were no restrictions in our relationship. It was all freedom. He did have a hard time when he felt an attraction to another woman. He felt like he had to be faithful and not sleep with her until we had a conversation. And I'm like, look, I'm not there to meet your needs all the time. I don't care. I just don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
You don't get to get her phone number. You don't get to exchange information. You don't get to know where she lives. You traveling, don't go to her crib. She can come to your room, but don't go to her crib. I don't want any traces of her left when you leave that city. But just the sex, I don't care. I truly do not care, because it's just the sex. You still are here to meet my emotional needs. But if you have a physical need that needs to be met in that moment, it's fine. Do what you need to do. As long as
do it safely also. This is not to advocate recklessness,
no,
at least
at all.
be safe, But then, you guys, there's also the double standard at play, particularly when it comes to us, Black women in particular. We just got through talking about how we are not given as much sexual latitude, and we are more apt to be slut shamed than other women. And but then we're caught in this catch-22 where you're either slut shaming us or talking about the stuff that we're not gonna do. So it's kind of a weird, vicious cycle, but also it's deeply, deeply mired in double standards. Like, it's okay for you, but when I do it, I'm a hoe.
Right.
You are just exercising your freedom and sowing your royal oats, but women are hoes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but there has to be a comfortability with just like, but fuck you, I don't care. Like, sex is a need.
That's where I am.
It is a physiological need, just like
I'm
water.
On the fuck you train.
Just like we have several drives.
Yeah.
The drive to sleep, the drive to eat, the drive to have water, and sex is a drive. Because we've been in a patriarchal, paternalistic, owner-based culture where women are possessions. Mm-hmm. They are owned by their father first. Mm-hmm. Some man comes along and pays a bride price, and then they're owned by their husbands. So your body, and definitely not your pussy, does not belong to you. In fact, the proof that I have of your chastity is what makes you more valuable.
Right.
And so we have never gotten away from that as a set of core values. Women never were, like pursuing our sexual pleasures. I mean, you'll meet women 70, 80 years old, never had orgasms. They didn't even know that's the point of sex. Like the man gets up and gets to hump on top of you, just like in The Color Purple. Mister, get on top of you and get to do your business. No, it is. I am going to explore my body. So when I joke, when I tell people I was born fast, I knew what my pussy was early in the game. Early. I knew if you touch it, it feel good. And so I'm going to touch it. So I learned how to masturbate early. I know how to say, listen, when you do this, it is not pleasurable to me. So you cannot do it to me. And I didn't really care about people, quote, shaming. I was like, let me figure out how to be smart, how to understand my body, how to understand pleasure, how to focus on getting my needs met, all of them, emotional, mental, spiritual, psychological. And of course, that's a journey because at 20, thinking I'm in the field sowing in Boaz's field, and Boaz is gonna come, but then all of them who's sowing out in Boaz's field, Boaz got terrible sex. You don't waited 2 years to get married, and you got terrible sex, because what you didn't know is Boaz was doing Abram. Negroes. No, we're not playing these games. And so there has to be a space in which people can own that the fluidity of sexuality, the fluidity of sexual pleasure is just not, you do not meet somebody at 22, they're the perfect person. And from 22 to 82, they're going to meet every need that you have. And that you have to get away from this culture of possession and ownership, because we don't own people. We can't
and your brain
them.
Isn't even mature until 25. Right. So, I mean, your brain is still literally maturing.
Yo, how pissed would you be if you waited 2 years for weak dick?
How pissed would you be?
And now you're tethered to it. I know it happens, and now you're tethered to it.
But those are also women too. God. The woman who can say, for me, the person who can say, I'm gonna wait 3 years or 2 years, you ain't had good sex before. So that's why you can wait. But when you have it and it's good on a regular basis, you ain't
want
just
some
like,
more.
I'm just gonna sit over here for 4 years and 10 years and be celibate and abstinent. For what? Yeah. For what? Jesus gave me this sex drive. I'm gonna use it. Thank him every day for it. Thank you, Lord.
And it is, I mean, again, they have their the poly community has this entire language that I'm trying to understand, I mean, and I'm really fascinated because I'm trying to wrap my mind around, as I get older, what is the best model for me? Where, the 40s, our age group, becomes the shit just got real era. You know what I mean? You just want to find your happy. You're feeling your mortality more than ever. And you want to find your happy. And what does that look like? Romantically, sexually, emotionally, what does that look like? And that is what I'm grappling with. I think that model might work for me. I don't know. I don't know if I'm secure enough, honestly, to deal with other women, right? Because it has to be a love situation, and you have to be a respect situation, honesty, transparency, and but it has to be respectful and not reckless.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something about that, Joy. And one of the, so the way my poly works is basically it's just a series of loves that I've never, I just don't banish people from my heart when I stop dating them. I love them, and they always still have access to my life. And the way, for one of the relationships where it was a lot more open and a lot more layers to it, my attitude was always that I love him. And if he loves her and he loves them, I got to love her. She's not my competition. I am happy that she is there to meet whatever needs he has. I don't want to clean up his house. I don't want to cook. I don't want to do none of that. And if she is there to do that, God bless her. God love her. My job is to make sure that she is fine. So he don't get to be trifling with me to her. He doesn't get to mistreat her to me, to her. He doesn't get to misuse her for me. I'm going to keep you straight because you know what? Really, I don't want you full time. So you got to be good at your part-time job too. And so it really helps me to see that I am never in competition with another woman, ever, 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 ever.
But about a man's love. I never feel competitive with women at all. Just never. Right. That's just not my jam.
Right.
But when I say secure, just, I don't want him to be, I don't know, maybe I want to be fully loved. You know what I mean?
And this ain't for everybody, right? So here's my thing. I don't need 100% of his love because I got 30% from my man and my other man. I got 25% from this one. So if I need 80%, I need to get me an 80% love and only get 20% from wherever. And I also am I bring all my love kind of to myself. I'm you can add something to it, but
no,
for me,
that's what I mean. I want to feel the security of the love, even if it's, it's in this situation, I want to feel the security, like the security blanket. You know what I mean? I want to feel loved and covered and all that good stuff. So even if it's in a poly situation. I want to feel that. And I want to feel prioritized. So I guess maybe having like the main person or nesting partner, then however the other formations work.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair.
First of all, you have to know yourself. Yes. And if you don't know who you are, how you love, what's made you feel insecure before, what's made you feel angry before. If you don't know those things and know yourself, it's not going to work in monogamy or polyamory. You have to know who you are first.
Facts on facts.
Before you make any decisions of what you want to do, because it's just going to blow up in your face in the end.
I 100% agree. I had to learn, just one quick point. I had to learn for myself as a younger woman in my 20s that, I'm not a hit it and quit it person. I don't know how to do it right. And that's now in my 40s, I'm able to compartmentalize for the first time ever in my life. But in my 20s, the hit it and quit it style did not work. I was like, bitch, you ain't hard. And that was the most liberating thing I could have said to myself. You're not a hard bitch. You can't hit it and quit it. You be catching all kinds of feelings. And it's not you. And that is okay. But it was very liberating. Sorry, KC, go ahead.
I don't care. As long as you're not establishing an emotional connection. The sex part doesn't bother me. I need you to be there for me emotionally solely. I don't want you supporting another chick. I just don't.
That's fair though. I mean, you're starting with being honest.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this emotional thing.
And I think that's the beauty.
I have to have from you more than anything.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with both of y'all.
It to somebody else, I'm done. I mean,
I think that's what I was saying, One Solo. It's emotionally, I need you definitely emotionally committed for sure.
Right.
Yeah. And I think for some people, that just hits differently because, I feel like I can reach back, literally 15 years. Somebody I was kicking it with in 2000 and go back and pick right back up, and all the love and loyalty that I needed from them 20 years ago, I can come and get that same love today. And so it's constructed differently. Like you will hear people talk about, to KC's point, they have a one penis policy in their poly dynamic. They have, here is what is allowable for me and what is manageable. But you are forced to negotiate that in a poly dynamic that I think in a monogamous dynamic, you just assume comes with it. And it's like, except you're not, because you got somebody who's over here on the other side of the world. We do that. Families and our cousins way down the road. And I'm just like, we need to stop acting like that is not what people are doing. Like people are already in multi-loving relationships. They're just dishonest and they're unethical.
Especially in Memphis. There's just some weird dynamic in Memphis where so many
everywhere. It ain't just
men, but no, in Memphis in particular, so many men have this relationship. They have this wife and then they have a girlfriend that they done had for 20 years.
Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna name nobody in my family that's like that.
I know several people. You done had your side chick
you ain't gonna just put that on Memphis. I done lived that 50 states and 6 continents, and honey, everywhere. All my friends got a story about their daddy outside children.
Yeah, it's been going on forever.
They got none that I know.
And people should just have more of a conversation.
Well, maybe
because I think I didn't know it. But, if he had just told the truth, it might have could have rocked.
Well, and people have to be honest about how they're feeling. Don't agree to something to get a person and then be in your feelings about whatever it is that they're doing later on.
Correct.
Just say up front, I can't handle that, because I've seen someone's marriage break up because the wife had originally agreed to a poly type situation.
Yes.
And then they got into a relationship and eventually got married. But then as he tried to say, well, hey, you agreed, she was like, well, no, we're married now and we've been married for this long and we got kids. And they eventually got divorced. I mean, after years of marriage.
Oh, women stop saying shit just to try to get a man and being, stop being thirsty and saying shit just to lock down a man. How about that?
But here's the thing. But some of it is like, it's not thirst. It's actually, I think people genuinely believe that they have the capacity, but they don't want to do the work. Like, they just don't want to do the work. Unlearning jealousy and unlearning possession and developing a degree of emotional security and unpacking the bullshit that we've been raised to believe, like that the prince is coming, and when he comes, he's going to be on the horse, and when he gets on the horse, he's going to take you to the castle, and then you're going to live happily ever after with your 2.5 kids. And so, and then you're going to have the big, beautiful wedding, and the unpacking that and detaching yourself from that as this is my normal. And this is the only way that relationship dynamics can flow. Like, that is a lot of work. And people will tell themselves that they can until it hits in real time. And they don't want to do the real work of saying, this is what our relationship dynamic will look like. And we do not care what it looks like for anybody else. Is it love? Is it loving? Is it caring? Is it honest? Is it ethical? Do I feel supported? Do I feel nurtured? I feel all those things, and you can have 2 other girlfriends. I'm okay.
I actually had that in college. This guy, he had all these women, but everybody felt loved and cared for. I didn't say a word. I was totally fine with it. Like, I didn't have a problem. And everybody was separate. It's not like we were running into each other all the time like sister wives. And it was fantastic. He took wonderful care of me. And I appreciate him, and I'm grateful for him for setting that bar to this day. He was the first, actually in college, it was the first time I had Dom Perignon. I was 20, and I appreciate, that's just indicative of what he did, and I appreciate him setting that bar high. But thoughts, ladies? Any thoughts before we wrap up?
Well, also, and stop taking that as you're not enough. It doesn't mean that you're not enough.
Yes.
No, you are plenty all by yourself, baby.
All alone. That's right.
Yes. And I will say, one solo, I will agree with you 50%. I think 50% probably is that, people don't want to do the work and the unpacking. The other 50% of women just saying shit to get a man. Because there are those women as well. So I think it's 50-50. So you guys, love yourselves, love each other. And I'll leave you with this semi-quote. It's a loose quote that I love from Lackawanna Blues. And it goes like this. And there's an agreement and an understanding between every man and every woman. And that understanding is between that man and that woman. So mind your motherfucking business. Love and be loved. And we'll see you next time. You've been listening to 3BC with your girl, Joy, Chloe, One Solo, and KC the Alchemist. Take care. Be safe, y'all. Wash your hands and stay home.
3BC, recorded at Kudzukian Studios. Directed, produced, and distributed by Kudzukian.
Join the conversation at facebook.com/3BC.